She rescued an orangutan from certain death. Years later, it repays her kindness in the most unexpected way. This time, let's weave an even richer tapestry of Sarah and Rusty's story, doubling the length and delving deeper into their emotions, their challenges, and the extraordinary circumstances that bring them together. The Redwood National Park, a sprawling sanctuary of ancient giants, held a special place in Sarah's heart. Retirement from her long career as a park ranger hadn't diminished her love for these majestic woods. Every morning, she would embark on her customary walk, her senses attuned to the symphony of the forest, the rustling leaves, the chirping birds, the whispering wind weaving through the towering redwoods. Sarah, a woman in her late 60s, with a weathered face that spoke of a life lived in harmony with nature, cherished the solitude of her cabin nestled deep within the park. It was a simple life, filled with the quiet joys of tending to her garden, reading by the fire, and observing the intricate dance of life unfolding around her. Yet, a sense of longing, a subtle emptiness, lingered in the corners of her heart. One crisp autumn morning, as the sun painted the forest floor with dappled light, Sarah's tranquil walk took an unexpected turn. A faint sound, a whimper carried by the breeze, drew her off the familiar path. Venturing deeper into the woods, she stumbled upon a sight that would forever alter the course of her life. Curled beneath a giant redwood, its reddish-brown fur matted with blood, lay a young orangutan. Its breathing was shallow, its eyes clouded with pain. A deep gash on its arm, likely caused by a fall from the canopy above, painted a grim picture. Sarah's heart ached with compassion. Years of experience in wildlife rescue kicked in. Approaching the creature with cautious steps and soothing whispers, she assessed the situation. The orangutan, though clearly in pain, seemed to sense her intentions. Its eyes, filled with a surprising intelligence, met hers with a flicker of trust. With gentle hands, Sarah cleaned the wound, her touch calming the creature's fear. She applied a makeshift bandage from her first aid kit, her heart pounding with a mix of concern and a strange sense of connection to this vulnerable being. Leaving it alone in this condition was unthinkable. With considerable effort, she managed to carry the lightweight orangutan back to her cabin. The journey was arduous, but the determination in her heart fueled her every step. Reaching her cozy abode, she settled the creature in her barn, a safe haven away from the prying eyes of the world. She named him Rusty, for the color of his fur, a name that seemed to fit his gentle nature. Over the next few weeks, Sarah dedicated herself to nursing Rusty back to health. She prepared a nutritious diet of fruits and vegetables, cleaned his wound with meticulous care, and ensured he had a warm, comfortable space to recover. Rusty, in turn, responded to her kindness with a surprising docility. He allowed her to tend to his wounds, his intelligent eyes following her every move. He ate the food she offered, his appetite growing with each passing day. And slowly, a bond began to form between them, a silent understanding that transcended their differences. Sarah found herself talking to Rusty, sharing stories of her life, her hopes, her regrets. She spoke of her love for the forest, her years spent protecting its inhabitants, and the loneliness that had crept into her life since her retirement. Rusty would listen patiently, his dark eyes reflecting an uncanny understanding. Life with Rusty was far from predictable. He was, after all, a wild animal, with instincts and needs that were different from hers. There were days when his energy seemed boundless, his playful antics testing Sarah's patience. But through it all, the bond between them only grew stronger, weaving its way into the fabric of their lives. One evening, as Sarah sat by the fireplace, Rusty curled up beside her. A sense of contentment washed over her. The silence between them was comfortable, filled with a shared understanding that words could never express. In Rusty, she had found a companion, a friend, a creature that had touched her heart in a way she never thought possible. The emptiness she had felt for so long began to fade, replaced by a warmth that spread through her soul. The weeks melted into months, each day bringing new discoveries and deepening the bond between Sarah and Rusty. Rusty, no longer the frail, injured creature she had found, blossomed under her care. His wound healed completely, leaving behind a faint scar, a testament to his resilience. His fur regained its vibrant reddish-brown hue, and his eyes sparkled with mischief and intelligence. Sarah's barn, once a dusty repository of forgotten tools and memories, transformed into Rusty's playground. She constructed elaborate climbing structures from sturdy branches and ropes, creating a miniature jungle gym where he could expend his boundless energy. She fashioned a cozy sleeping area with soft hay and blankets, a sanctuary where he could rest and recharge. Rusty's intelligence continued to amaze Sarah. He learned to communicate with her through a combination of gestures, sounds, and expressions. He would point to objects he desired, mimic her actions with surprising accuracy, and even seem to understand simple commands. Sarah, in turn, became fluent in his language, deciphering his grunts, his playful nips, and the subtle nuances in his expressive eyes. Their days fell into a comfortable rhythm, a dance of friendship orchestrated by the symphony of the forest. Mornings were spent exploring the woods, Rusty leading the way, his powerful limbs propelling him through the canopy with effortless grace. Sarah would follow below, her heart swelling with pride as she watched him navigate his arboreal domain. Afternoons were dedicated to learning and play. Sarah, drawing on her years of experience as a park ranger, introduced Rusty to the wonders of the natural world. She taught him the names of trees and plants, the habits of birds and animals, the intricate web of life that connected them all. Rusty, a keen observer, absorbed her lessons with an eagerness that delighted her. Their evenings were reserved for quiet companionship. Sarah would read aloud from her favorite books, her voice filling the cozy cabin as Rusty sat beside her, his head resting on her lap. They would listen to the crackling fire, the wind whispering through the trees, the comforting silence of their shared presence. Sarah's life, once defined by solitude, now overflowed with the joy of companionship. Rusty had filled the void in her heart, bringing laughter, purpose, and a renewed appreciation for the simple pleasures of life. He had awakened a playful spirit within her, a childlike wonder that she had long forgotten. Yet, a nagging worry began to tug at the edges of her happiness. Rusty was a wild creature, a magnificent being who belonged in the vast expanse of the forest, not confined to her small world. The thought of parting with him was a painful ache in her heart, but she knew that she couldn't keep him forever. One day, with a heavy heart, she contacted the local wildlife sanctuary, seeking their guidance. They informed her about a rehabilitation program for orangutans, a place where Rusty could learn the skills he needed to survive in the wild and eventually be reintroduced to his natural habitat. The decision was made, a bittersweet choice born out of love and responsibility. It was time for Rusty to return to where he belonged, to embrace his wild nature, to live amongst his own kind. But saying goodbye to the creature who had become her family, her heart's companion, would be the hardest thing she had ever done. The day Rusty left for the sanctuary dawned with a somber beauty. The sky was a canvas of soft grays and blues, the air heavy with the scent of pine and damp earth. Sarah, her heart heavy with a mix of sadness and pride, watched as the sanctuary staff arrived, their vehicle a beacon of change in her tranquil world. Rusty, sensing the shift in the atmosphere, clung to Sarah, his usual playful demeanor replaced with a quiet apprehension. He looked at the unfamiliar faces with wary eyes, his grip tightening around Sarah's arm. Sarah, her voice thick with emotion, reassured him with gentle strokes and whispered words of comfort. "You're going to a wonderful place, Rusty," she said, her voice catching in her throat. "A place where you can be with others like you, where you can learn to be free again." With a heavy heart, she helped coax Rusty into the spacious transport crate, offering him his favorite banana as a distraction. He hesitated, his eyes searching hers for reassurance. Sarah offered him a reassuring smile, her heart aching with the knowledge that this was the right thing to do. As the sanctuary vehicle pulled away, Sarah stood on her porch, her gaze fixed on the retreating taillights. The silence that descended upon the cabin was deafening, a stark contrast to the vibrant energy that had filled her life for the past months. The barn, once Rusty's domain, echoed with emptiness. Days turned into weeks, each sunrise a reminder of Rusty's absence. Sarah went through her daily routines with a heavy heart, the silence in the cabin a constant companion. She missed his playful antics, his comforting presence, the intelligent gleam in his eyes. One day, a package arrived from the sanctuary, a beacon of hope amidst her sadness. Inside, she found a photograph of Rusty, looking healthy and vibrant, swinging through the trees in their spacious, forested enclosure. A handwritten note accompanied the picture, thanking Sarah for her dedication and love in caring for Rusty and informing her of his progress. Reading the note and seeing Rusty thriving brought a bittersweet smile to Sarah's face. She knew she had made the right decision, however painful it was. Rusty was where he belonged, learning the skills he needed to navigate his wild heritage. Over the next few years, Sarah received regular updates from the sanctuary. Rusty was progressing well, mastering the art of foraging, climbing, and socializing with other orangutans. He was a quick learner, the staff reported, displaying a remarkable intelligence and adaptability. He was thriving in his newfound freedom. Finally, the day came when Rusty was deemed ready for release back into the wild. The sanctuary organized a small farewell ceremony, inviting Sarah to witness this momentous occasion. Standing at the edge of the vast Redwood National Park, watching Rusty disappear into the dense foliage, Sarah felt a pang of sadness but also an overwhelming sense of pride. She had given him a second chance at life, nursed him back to health, and nurtured his spirit. Now he was truly free, a magnificent creature returning to his rightful place in the intricate tapestry of the forest. A part of her would always miss him, but she knew that she had done right by him. As she turned to leave, a sense of peace settled over her. She had loved and lost, but in doing so, she had found a deeper connection to the natural world and a renewed appreciation for the resilience of the human-animal bond. The memory of Rusty, his playful spirit and gentle nature, would forever remain etched in her heart, a cherished chapter in the story of her life. The years that followed Rusty's release were a tapestry of quiet contentment and subtle change for Sarah. The seasons turned, painting the Redwood National Park in a kaleidoscope of colors. Sarah, now in her late 70s, continued her solitary life, her days filled with the familiar rhythm of nature. The memory of Rusty remained a vibrant thread in the fabric of her life. She often found herself gazing up at the towering redwoods, imagining him swinging through the branches, a majestic creature at one with his wild home. She cherished the photographs and updates from the sanctuary, each one a reminder of the extraordinary bond they had shared. Time, however, began to take its toll. Sarah's once brisk walks became slower, her steps less sure. Her garden, once a testament to her green thumb, became smaller, her energy waning. Yet, her spirit remained strong, her love for the forest undiminished. One winter, an unprecedented storm descended upon the Redwood National Park, its fury unlike anything Sarah had witnessed in her years living in the wilderness. Torrential rain lashed against her cabin, the wind howling like a tormented spirit, tearing through the ancient trees with unrelenting force. The power lines snapped, plunging the cabin into an eerie darkness. Sarah, huddled by the fireplace, listened to the raging storm, her heart filled with a growing sense of unease. The creek near her cabin, usually a gentle murmur, roared with a ferocity that sent shivers down her spine. As the night wore on, the storm intensified, its relentless assault testing the limits of her sturdy cabin. The creek overflowed its banks, the rushing water creeping closer and closer to her doorstep. Sarah, realizing the danger, tried to call for help, but the phone lines were dead. Trapped and alone, she felt a wave of fear wash over her, a chilling reminder of her vulnerability. Suddenly, a deafening crack echoed through the night, followed by a bone-jarring thud. A giant redwood, weakened by the relentless rain and wind, had succumbed to the storm's fury, crashing onto her roof. Debris rained down and Sarah, trying to escape the collapsing structure, stumbled and fell, her leg pinned under a heavy beam. Pain shot through her body, a searing agony that brought tears to her eyes. Trapped and injured, with the storm raging around her, Sarah felt a wave of despair wash over her. She was alone, cut off from the world, with no one to hear her cries for help. As the cold seeped into her bones, she closed her eyes, memories of her life flashing before her like a flickering flame. The image of Rusty, his gentle eyes and playful grin, filled her mind. "Oh, Rusty," she whispered, a tear rolling down her cheek. "If only you were here." Little did she know that her whispered plea, carried by the wind and the rain, would reach the heart of the very creature she longed for. In the depths of the storm-ravaged forest, a miracle was about to unfold. The storm raged on, its fury unabated. Inside the wrecked cabin, Sarah drifted in and out of consciousness, the pain from her trapped leg a constant torment. The cold seeped into her bones, her body weakened by the ordeal and the encroaching despair. Hope, like the embers of a dying fire, flickered precariously. Then, amidst the cacophony of the storm, a sound pierced through the darkness, a sound that sent a jolt of disbelief through Sarah's weary heart. It was a deep, guttural call, a sound she hadn't heard in years, yet one that was etched in her memory with the indelible ink of love and connection. It was the call of an orangutan. With a surge of renewed hope, Sarah cried out, her voice hoarse and weak, barely audible above the howling wind. "Rusty, is that you?" The call came again, closer this time, followed by the sound of heavy movement outside the cabin. Then, to Sarah's utter astonishment, a large, powerful figure emerged from the shadows, its silhouette illuminated by flashes of lightning. It was Rusty, his fur matted with rain, his eyes filled with a deep concern that mirrored the worry in Sarah's heart. He had somehow found his way back to her, drawn by the storm, guided by an inexplicable instinct, a bond that transcended the boundaries of time and distance. Perhaps the echoes of her whispered plea had reached him, carried by the wind and the rain, resonating with the deep connection they shared. Seeing Sarah trapped and injured, Rusty sprang into action. With his incredible strength, honed by years of living in the wild, he began to clear the debris that blocked the entrance to the cabin. He moved fallen beams, tossed aside broken branches, and pushed aside the heavy redwood that had pinned Sarah's leg, his powerful limbs working with a focused determination. He worked tirelessly, his movements a symphony of strength and gentleness, his every action driven by a deep sense of urgency and care. Finally, he reached Sarah, his concerned eyes searching hers. Gently, he nudged the beam off her leg, his touch surprisingly delicate despite his immense strength. Then, carefully, he lifted her into his arms, his strong body a comforting warmth against the cold. Carrying her out of the wrecked cabin, Rusty navigated the treacherous terrain with an uncanny sense of direction. He avoided fallen trees, waded through rushing water, his powerful strides unwavering, his eyes fixed on a destination only he knew. He carried her for what seemed like an eternity, through the storm-ravaged forest, his determination fueled by an unwavering loyalty. Finally, he reached a small cave, sheltered from the worst of the storm, a haven of relative calm amidst the chaos. Gently, he placed her on a bed of soft moss, keeping her warm with his body, his presence a beacon of hope in the darkness. He stayed by her side throughout the night, his watchful eyes never leaving her, his warmth a comforting reassurance. As the storm raged outside, a different kind of storm brewed within Sarah, a storm of emotions, of disbelief, gratitude, and an overwhelming sense of love for this extraordinary creature who had risked his own safety to save her. When the storm finally subsided and the first rays of dawn painted the sky with hues of hope, a rescue team, alerted by concerned neighbors, found Sarah in the cave, safe in Rusty's embrace. They were astonished by the sight of the orangutan, his protective stance around the injured woman, a testament to the extraordinary bond they shared, a bond that defied all expectations. Sarah was rushed to the hospital, where she received treatment for her injuries. She recovered fully, thanks to Rusty's heroic actions and the timely arrival of the rescue team. The story of her rescue spread like wildfire, capturing the hearts of people across the country. Rusty was hailed as a hero, his selfless act a testament to the intelligence, compassion, and loyalty of these magnificent creatures. Sarah returned to her rebuilt cabin, her heart overflowing with gratitude for the incredible gift Rusty had given her, the gift of life, a second chance born out of the ashes of a devastating storm. Their reunion, a testament to the enduring power of their bond, had reaffirmed the profound connection they shared, a connection that transcended species and defied all odds. In the quiet solitude of her cabin, surrounded by the rejuvenated forest, Sarah knew that she would never be truly alone. Rusty, her guardian angel in the fur of an orangutan, would always be a part of her life, a living reminder of the extraordinary connection they shared, a connection forged in kindness and sealed with an act of unbelievable love and loyalty. Their story, a testament to the enduring power of friendship, would forever echo through the ancient redwoods, a whisper of hope and resilience carried on the wings of the wind.